please make sure you have blocks and blankets or books. Just gather as much as you can. So we're going to be doing some supported things, and we're going to have different levels based on everyone's varying flexibility, because we do have a wide range of flexibility today. So grab what you can, and then I'll explain what our mental focus is today. Okay, so we're going to make it simple today. Our focus will be simply on the mantra itself. And you can choose, if there's a certain part that speaks to you more, then you're going to just keep that mental concentration on that as much as you can. One of the things I remember from reading the Yoga Sutras is in the section on asana, which is a very small section, the section of postures, which really is more in that sense for Yoga Sutras environment, we'll say it really had to do more with sitting for meditation. Asana meaning seat. And it was, I remember it said, sitting and, we'll say concentrating on the endless. So that sticks out in my mind, the endless. Just sitting there and trying to experience infinity, experience the expansiveness of the source of life. And that is built into our mantra. So thinking the beginning, Om Namah Shivaya, Gurave, I bow to the presence of the divine within. Other translations say, I bow to the presence of Shiva within. I bow to the presence of God within. Shiva stands for God, for whatever word you want to put as the source of creation. So you can keep your mental focus there, or if there's something else in the mantra that speaks to you, bring it to mind as often as you can, and let that be your mantra as you practice, so that the practice is more powerful beyond the physical benefits, even though they're included. So let's start. I'm going to let the harmonium come in today, so I'll switch the mic. And you should be able to hear me now still. So we'll sit up nice and tall and begin to simply watch the breath. Begin to take a few deep breaths. As you're taking these breaths, start to sense that you can now relax in the body, relax in the shoulders, releasing tension in the neck simply by your overactivation of the neck, simply by your overactivation of the shoulders. Once you can relax those and deactivate them to match this environment, to match this setting, to match this experience, then you can start to feel more relaxed through the body. Shifting into a deeper and deeper breath. And as you're breathing in that deeper breath, see if we can start to connect to the source of this breath. simply by mentally focusing on it. Whether we know that source or just have faith that such a source possibly exists. There must be a source. There must be a beginning. Then we will bring our invocation in. I bow to the presence of the divine within, our true and highest teacher, that lives in and around us as being, consciousness, and bliss. It is ever present and radiates peace, lighting the way to transformation.
Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
We're going to be starting today in a forward fold at the top of the mat. And have your blocks close by. And once you're in this fold, see what works better at this time. See if the feet need to be separated. And I think really, a nice wide stance is probably going to serve us, and we'll turn something into it. And we'll turn this into something. Both. Maybe you clasp opposite elbows with hands. Nice soft bend in the knees, perhaps. Now, as you're here, connect to that part of our invocation that you'll be concentrating on today. And if none of that works for you, focus on something
in particular, but let there be a mental focus. Something that speaks to your heart and mind. Another 2 breaths. And then we'll let the arms just hang loose as we start to unroll the spine. Work your way from the base all the way up to the neck, bringing the head
to neutral. And then from here, we're going to find eagle arms and come back into that fold. So reach the arms upwards, find expansive experience in the chest, the arms, and then cross elbows, and now find them all contracting here. Wrapping the arms around each other, bending the knees, and then folding right back in. Notice which elbow is closer to the chest. Now, rather than have the hands come up towards the head, try to lower the hands away from the head. See if you can let the head go a little bit more. Begin to unfold the spine. Work your way again from the base all the way up to the neck, and the head comes to center. Unravel the arms, reach them out, up, and then cross opposite elbow in front. Wrap the arms, bend the knees, come back into the fold. When you're in your forward fold, you should really be able to feel the heels, the inside of the heels, the center of the heels, really press into the mat. You want to start setting this up, start considering these folds, because we're going to do a few variations of folds today. So at this time, we'll start to take another deep breath and then begin to unroll, rising back up. Release the arms, reach them up. Let's find an angle posture. Bring the right hand down to the right leg, and then begin to slide the right hand down as you stretch the left arm up. So we'll keep this left arm reaching up as the right hand slides down. See if you can really separate the left and the right hand a little bit more. Here you can feel the waist deeply stretching. We're going to go into this 2 times. So first time we'll have this left arm reaching up. See if that right finger, those right fingers can come down the right leg a little bit more. And then inhale, rise, reach the right arm up. Hopefully you feel difference between left and right waist. The left hand comes down to the left leg, starts to slide down as you reach the right arm up, separating the hands from each other. Whenever we're coming into a side bend, you can keep the head in a neutral position, or you can take it upwards. And then if it's a balancing posture, you could take it downward. So there's always benefit to where you have the head. The important part is that you're aware of where you have the head. You're doing it intentionally. A couple more deep breaths. We'll inhale, come to center, reach the left arm up. And we'll take the right hand down the right leg, start to stretch the hands away from each other again. Right fingers come down the leg. Then maybe this time you take that left arm up and over the left ear. So now you're increasing that space that's being stretched. Feel it beyond the waist, below it and above it. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, left hand comes down. Start to slide the fingers down the left leg. Reach the right arm up. And then we'll start to take the right arm up and over the right ear. Another deep breath. Inhale, come back up to center. Reach the arms up. Let's find a fold again. This time take hands behind, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulders back, look upwards. Exhale, fold forward. And then we'll release the hands down. We've had these legs in the same position. So let's heel toe the feet closer together so they're hips distance apart. And then step the left foot to the back of the mat. We're going to come into a nice low lunge and just be here for a moment, exploring. Sink into the right knee, maybe pull away from the right knee. So maybe hands stay where they are, maybe they come to the inside of the foot. Just give a little bit of motion and exploration. And as you're moving, come back into your mental focus. Simply repeating the same words in the mind or picturing them, visualizing. We're going to step the left foot up when you're ready and then just switch sides and then continue. Then when you're ready, pick up the right foot, bring it back to the mat, to the front of the mat. We're going to inhale, come up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, lower. Inhale all the way up to standing, reach the arms upwards. Exhale, palms together, thumbs in towards the heart center. Step the left foot to the back of the mat. Sink into the right knee. You can keep the back heel lifted. So now we're in a high lunge. And then we're going to step the left foot back up and step the right foot back. Keeping the spine nice and tall. Step the right foot forward, step the left foot back again. This time plant the heel. So the left toes are going to pivot a bit to the left. We're going to keep the hands together, but then start to turn to the left side of the mat. So the left foot will pivot with you, with the trunk. So left toes facing side of the mat. Then let's reach the arms upwards as we inhale. Exhale, open the arms to a T. Still lunging into the right knee. Turn the head to look past the right fingertips. We're going to flip the palms down and then flip the palms up. And continue to flip the palms down, flip the palms up. Take a few more of these as you keep lunging into the right knee, looking for that place of challenge where you can still maintain where you are. With the deepest breath. Then we're going to inhale, reach the arms upwards. Let the head come back to center, palms together, thumbs in towards the heart center. From here, we'll be straightening the right leg, pivot to face the side of the mat. Then lunge into the left knee by turning the left toes to the left bit and then lunging into the left leg. So we're lowering into a side lunge. Maybe you pick up the right toes. Another deep breath. We're going to reverse out of that. That's really difficult to do. So push into the left foot, rise, and then turn to face the front of the mat. Step the left foot up. We're going to turn the other way, or start with the other foot really. So step the right foot back. Bring the heel down. I'm going to switch directions so I could face you. Heel comes down. Then we start to turn to face the right side of the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, arms to a T. And then we'll start to flip the palms up and down. I'm going through this a few times. So as you're doing this, notice what's moving in the arms. Really connect the mind to the body. See what's moving as you keep sinking into the left knee, maintaining a deep breath, maintaining the posture and the challenge at the same time. Never overwhelming the body or it will collapse. That's my philosophy, at least. Not all people believe that. Another deep breath. Going to bring the palms together. Actually, let's reach the arms up, inhaling. Exhale, palms together, thumbs in towards the chest, turning to face the side of the mat. Straighten the left leg, pivot the feet slightly to the right, mostly that right foot. Left foot's going to face a bit out to the left. Lunge into the right knee, coming into that side lunge. So see how low you can get into this, and then maybe you pick up the left toes, the rest of the foot, all but the heel. Another deep breath. Push into the right foot to rise back up. Going to keep the legs straight, face the side of the mat. Take the hands behind, interlace the fingers. Squeeze the shoulders back, look up. Exhale, fold forward. And shift the toes inwards a little bit. Now notice what it feels like as you're shifting the toes in. See if you can follow that sensation from the ankles up to the thighs, up to the hips. And we're going to release the hands down, and we're going to come to seated before we go further. So let's start to bring the feet a little closer together, bring the knees down and facing the front of the mat. We're going to come into a hero. So here's where blocks or blankets are going to first come in handy. You can sit right on top of blocks or blankets with the feet to the outside of your prop, to the outside of the hips. And here we'll just focus on sitting for a moment. So if you feel like this is too intense for the knees, if you have any knee issues, then, just find a tall seat. If you would like, you can bring the soles of the feet together. This is a good option. See what works for you. And then, of course, if you don't need the props, it's always good to know what it feels like with the props, because sometimes we can be giving our body more strain than needs to happen to have a good experience. So check and see what works for you. And then we're going to just sit here for about 2 more deep breaths before we start to recline a bit. Okay, so when you're ready, we'll bring the hands down and just see about walking the hands back a little bit. Just walking back. So usually we often do, we haven't been doing it in a while, but we do a single leg. So this will also give you less strain, so you could just focus on one leg at a time. So see if you'd like to do that. I'll let you know when to switch. And then we're going to see, maybe some might be able to recline down to the forearms. And this is all going to really depend on your own individual body. And some might be able to recline all the way down to the back and just release the arms behind. And remember, these feet are in line with the rest of the leg, the shin. So not flexing the feet, but keeping them lined up as if it's one long lower leg. And so if you're in the one side, you're going to switch to the other leg. It's a good spot to pull the pelvis in, increase the stretch. We worked really in this hip crease for the first part of our practice. So I want to stretch it and open it up. About 3 more deep breaths. Go back to your mental focus if the mind is drifting. Now we're going to start to come out. If you are reclining, push down into the elbows first, bring them alongside the body, then begin to come to the forearms, then the hands. Now we're all going to fold into a child's posture, so you'll probably need to release your props and then get situated as you lower. I'm going to take about 3 or 4 deep breaths here in child's posture. Okay. We're going to rise and then come all the way down to the belly. All the way down to the belly. Bring the legs, thighs, hips down. Keep the elbows tucked in towards the waist. Keep the palms down. Keep the forehead down for a moment. Relax the legs by letting the heels shift out. And then start to activate the legs by letting the heels face up. Engage the thighs and the glutes. And then inhale, lift the chest and the head and the arms. Squeeze the elbows back. Really trying to lift the arms as far away from the mat as you can. Two more breaths. Exhale, lower. Relax the legs. I think we'll take 3 sets total. So when you're ready, start to engage the legs again. We're going to lift the head, the chest, the arms. Now maybe you also lift the legs, but you don't have to. So see, what I really want is for the focus to be on the upper back and the chest. Exhale, lower. Relax, couple deep breaths.
Next inhalation, rise back up, but get those feet together again. Get active in the legs, then rise. And if you're lifting the legs are going to separate a bit. The feet will separate. Keep the glutes engaged. And then exhale, lower down. Okay, we're going to be pressing up. So if you like, you can reverse a push-up, whatever feels good. And then just come to actually, let's come into a heart chakra posture. So from table, walk the hands forward. Bring the forehead down. Keep the palms down and the forearms lifted. If it's hard to do that, the forehead to a block will help. Feel the underarm stretching. So even while you're working with the body, still coming back, still having like in the background program, that mental focus that you've selected today. And then let's rise to table and bring the right knee forward, left leg slides back. We're going to come into a pigeon. And so we can rock a little bit side to side and then folding when you're ready. If you need a little bit more intensity, scooch the right foot over to the left a little bit more. Keep the balance on the hips, level hips. Relax the body into this for 3 more breaths. And we'll start to rise. Switch legs. If you'd like, you could take that right leg behind, move it around a bit. But we weren't there too long. So then taking left knee forward, right leg slides back. Folding in. And then again, if you need to intensify, scooch that left foot over to the right. Three more deep breaths. And we'll start to come out. See about moving that left leg. And then we're going to be meeting in table posture, moving through cat-cow at your pace. Inhaling, belly sinking, tailbone and head lifting. I said TED to combine those. And then exhaling, tailbone and head down. So it really helps to keep the center as the focus in the body. The belly is what we're working with, and then everything else responds to the belly. All right, we're going to do a little bit of work with forward folds. Now, before we go there, I want to come back to what we started with. We had some nice side bend working postures, some waist opening postures. So let's find a neutral table, kick the left foot to the left, take the right foot to the back of the mat, and then lift the right arm up and take it right over the right ear. So coming into modified side plank, the right arm reaching. So now feeling again the waist opening up. And if you'd like to create a little bit more challenge, you can take the left foot to the back of the mat as well and keep lifting the hips away. It's going to take away from the stretch in the right waist. So check in and see, what do you want? Do you want to build the obliques, the strength in the left arm, or do you want to feel the waist, or a little bit of both? You can feel the underarm of the right arm. And then let's exhale. Come down to table, switching sides. Right foot kicks to the right, left foot to the back of the mat. Reach the left arm up and over the left ear. You might be able to find that side plank with still that nice lengthening feeling on the left side. So playing around, about 4 more deep breaths. And we'll exhale, come back to table. All right, rest in child's posture for 5 breaths. While you're here, check in with the hands. Give the hands some motion. Take some circles with the wrists. Nice clearing breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. We'll rise up to table. Now we'll be finding downward facing dog. So if you'd like to do downward facing dog with blocks, I am going to try to get this in later where we will be doing something in the same position. But if you would like to, now is good, or if not, no problem. We're actually coming here to transition to a fold. So find about 3 breaths in downward facing dog. And then step the feet forward to the top of the mat, about hips distance apart, maybe a little bit more narrow. Just kind of see where you can be. And we're going to start by finding the appropriate place so that we can have our feet planted, our legs straight, the hips and the ankles lined up in a perfect vertical line, and then the hands planted. So you might need to have the hands on 2 blocks, which are elevated to their highest height. If even that is difficult, then a chair is going to be a better strategy for you. So if you have like a folding chair, and see if you can go grab it, bring it here, and then basically you would rest your hands on top of it and also release the head right there. So, just kind of seeing, maybe even using blocks on the chair,
just checking in with your own body right now and honoring it, and then being able to fold here. So we have a few variations. Of course, we can lower the blocks to their lowest height, or some might be able to bring the hands down very easily to the mat. If you can do that very easily and you feel like you want more of a stretch, you can walk the hands back to the sides of the feet, or you can step on top of blocks and then focus on taking hands maybe to the sides of the blocks, pulling down, or taking the hands, clasping elbows. Now we're going to be, wherever fold you're in, we're going to be focusing on the thighs. So keep the feet planted and just start to roll the thighs out for a moment. So you'll see a very small shift of the knees going outward. So we don't want to be here. We're going to start to shift the thighs and roll them inward now. And so now we see the knees face forward. They don't really go inward much at all. Right? If we were to bring the big toes together, they would go a little bit more inward. Now see if you can maintain that position with the legs. Thighs rolling inward. Now we're going to start to come out of this, but we're going to come back in a moment. So you can come up halfway or unroll and then just start to rise all the way up to standing, where we're going to take the fingers behind and interlace and squeeze the shoulders back, open up the chest. And release the hands alongside the legs. Let's go back to our side bends. Reach the left arm up. Start to slide the right hand down the right leg. Reach up first. Take 3 breaths here. Come back to center. Other side. Inhaling, right arm up, sliding left hand down. Come back to center. Let's take another side bend. So we have the feet closer together this time. Take the left arm up, and this time over the ear. Inhale, come to center. Reach the right arm up, take it up and over. Simple posture, but especially getting into it in different ways, we can start to see results. And then inhaling, rising up. Let's come back into the fold. Now, before we do, we're going to grab a block, or if you have a thick book or something like that, even maybe a blanket. It's going to probably look kind of funny on camera, but that's okay. We're going to take this block. I was reading about this today as like a strategy. So then we're going to bring it to like right inside the thighs, as close, as high up as we can. Okay, so the block is as high up as we can between the thighs. Then we're going to try to get the feet closer together. So there will be a point where they simply can't go together anymore, and you can feel that the thighs are really pressing into the block. Now we're going to come back to wherever we can go. So we can start with hands to hips, and then maybe start to fold. Maybe it's a halfway. If you've got a chair and you want to bring your hands to the chair, that's fine. And see if you can go a little lower. Squeezing the block, really pushing the thighs into the block. And then maybe you'll be able to go a little lower. Maybe a block can support the arms. Maybe hands to the mat. Maybe you relax the thighs for a moment and squeeze back in. Then we'll find wherever your end point is and take 5 deep breaths. And we'll start to rise back up. Release the block. Take the hands behind and release the fingers. Squeeze the shoulders back. Couple deep breaths. And release the hands. Let's find a balancing posture. Then we're going to come to reclining, and we're going to be finding some passive back bends and things like that today, which is where we'll also be needing our props. So first we'll come into eagle posture, Garudasana. We had our eagle arms earlier. Now we could focus on the legs too. So we'll set up the arms first. Reach the arms up. We'll cross the left elbow in front, so the right elbow will be closer to the chest. Wrap the arms around each other. Feet are hip distance apart. Sink into the knees. Set up the elbows so they're ascending forward and up. And then shift to the left leg. Some options, you can come to single-legged chair posture, right ankle on top of left thigh, or you can cross right knee on top of left. You can have the toes, right toes on the mat for support, or you can find a lock by taking the toes to around the left calf and then really activating both of the legs here to stand tall. So they're really tightly wrapped around each other, just like the arms. I imagine this is called eagle because when they dive, it looks like this. But when I think of an eagle, I don't think of them diving. I think of them soaring. Let's take another deep breath here. So with that in mind, I'm going to unravel the arms and then just take the arms out. If you want to join me, finding that breath, that wide wingspan, and then unraveling the legs. You shake the arms out a little bit, and then we'll work on the other side. So feet hips distance apart. Inhale, reach the arms up. This time, left elbow close to the chest, right elbow in front, wrapping arms around each other. Then we'll sink into the knees and bring the weight to the right leg, lifting and finding ankle on thigh or knee on knee, maybe that lock. Deep breaths. I'm going to open the arms. And then unwinding the legs. Okay, a little bit of some motion here. So let's find the blocks back on the mat. If you don't have them, no worries. But we're going to be using the blocks now to help with a certain posture. So we're going to take hands down, find our forward fold first. Palms down. You have to bend the knees, that's fine. We're actually going to walk the feet back and come into a downward facing dog. Then from here, we're going to step the right foot between the blocks. Okay, so you might still have like about halfway there. And then we'll step the left foot up a little bit and plant the left foot down, facing forward. So we're going to find a revolving triangle posture. We'll take the right hand to the right hip and push into the right hip, sending it back. Now this might be plenty and you want to stay here and focus. It might be very difficult to be here, so stay there. If you need a little bit more, you could take the left hand to the right block. Now you might need to bring the block back a little bit. Okay, so it's a little difficult to have the hand to the outside of the foot. See if that works. And if it doesn't, maybe hand to the left block. Now we're going to start to turn the heart to the right. It's a revolving triangle. And maybe we start to take this right arm up. Push into the left hand for a little bit more twist. And then exhale, lower the right hand down. Okay, I forgot to mention, you can have these on their highest height, of course, it's just a little bit less stable. Then let's come out of this, come back to downward facing dog. Now we'll step the right foot forward. Nope, the left foot forward. Bring the right foot up a little bit, planting the feet, both feet facing forward. Left hand to left hip, push the left hip back. These are squaring the hips, this motion. Then we start to turn to the left, but of course, if we're going to do that, we need to take right hand to the left block, unless something else is working for you. Remembering this is your practice, this is your body. The goal is for you to know it best. And then maybe we take this left arm up. Keeping the legs straight. Exhale the left hand down. Bring the hands to the blocks, step the left foot back. Downward facing dog, maybe you want to lose the blocks. Take a couple deep breaths here. We're going to send the knees down and come back into Anahatasana, heart chakra posture. Slide the palms forward, forehead down. 3 deep breaths. And then rise up to table, come to seated, cross the ankles perhaps. From seated, plant the feet in front with the knees bent. Let the arms come forward and nice and straight. Start to tilt the trunk back. Take the head with it, which means don't jet the neck forward. And then begin to come to the sitting bones to lift the feet. Take 5 breaths, maybe straight legs, maybe bent legs. Boat posture. Cross the ankles, set the feet down. Inhale, reach the arms up. On the exhale, twist to the right, left hand to right knee, right hand behind, get tall, and then turn. Next inhale, come back to center, reach the arms up. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, come back to center, reach the arms up. Exhale, bring the palms together, thumbs in towards the heart center. Come back one more time to the sitting bones, and let's just see if we can come back to our boat without planting the feet. So leaning back, begin to lift the feet up. See the ankles are crossed here. Maybe this is where you stay, or maybe you uncross and start to send the legs up. Two more breaths. Now, take this left foot underneath the right thigh and come to seated, planting the right foot, bringing the foot in closer, and then we're going to twist to the right this time again, but legs different shape. So right hand behind, you can inhale the left arm up and take that left elbow outside of the thigh, lift the heart and then send the heart to the right. One variation, other variation, keep the foot close, hug the leg in. We're going to take a counter twist. So when you're ready, come to center and then start to twist to the left. Left hand can come behind. You might hug the right leg, or you might take right hand to left knee, turning left. And then coming to center, switch legs. Left foot plants, right foot under left hip, left hand behind. Find your first variation. One more breath. Coming to center, twisting to the right. And then we'll come to center. Going to just cross the ankles, sit up tall, and work with the neck for a moment. So maybe moving the head side to side, left, right, down and up. Going to bring the head to center. Cross the wrists and bring the fingers to the base of the neck, right on top of those really nice long muscles that come right behind the clavicle. Push into them, and then begin to lift the chin. Bring the head to center. Release the hands and just let them rest on the thighs. Lift the right knee. I'm sorry, lift the right ear. Right ear up. Right shoulder down. Head to center. Left ear up. Left shoulder down. And bring the head to center. Give a little bit of motion to the head. Finally, we're going to recline. I wanted to do this much earlier, but I got carried away as usual. Now, finding a blanket, go ahead and roll a blanket. Or you could, if you don't have anything like that around, you can use blocks. You can use pillows, but I wanted to do it both ways. So first I wanted to use the rolled blanket, and this is going to go underneath the, let's say we're going to recline and kind of find the right place for it. Also, you might want a blanket for the head, but we want the chest to be more lifted here than the shoulders. So we're going to find the blanket, it's about center of the back. And then we're going to let the head, again, rest maybe on the mat, maybe on a blanket. It really depends on how high your back support is. And we're going to just relax the arms out. So some good distance between the arms and the trunk. Maybe you keep the feet planted, or maybe you extend the legs. And we're kind of moving into the letting go process, little by little, moving into Shavasana. We're going to let ourselves experience some passive back bends first. Passive back bends are really a good way to help increase one's ability to take active back bends. And mentally, they're so beneficial as well, because we can really let go and not have to think about what we are doing with the body. We could just relax into what the body's position is, without feeling any challenge at all, really. So this is a good time to take a few deep breaths and sit with your mental focus for a moment. Take a deep breath in and out. And then we're going to rise to release this support. And before we do, just press your way up. You can bring the soles of the feet together and then fold right into the feet. We're going to go into a bit of a deeper back bend. So let's get this fold going first. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And then we'll rise. You might take the same posture. If it felt really good to you, you could use the same prop. If you want to go deeper, you can take a block. We'll start with the block to the sacrum. So come back down, bring the block right underneath. See if you want to start at the middle. Oh, actually it's the lowest height, or maybe the second height. If you have two blocks, it's a little bit more stable. You can get lots of height there with two blocks. Just bringing the hips to an elevated position, using support of the block. Check and see as you go through, you might feel that the back says, oh, I'm ready for a little bit more height. And then see where you could take it. And then same thing, relax into this. Come to your mental focus. Another breath or so. Okay, we're going to start to come out. Release that block. Find your way back up to seated. Bring the soles of the feet together and then fold. And then one more, and then we'll be resting. So take a nice deep breath in and out. Come back.
And now we're going to find a block right between the shoulder blades. And you can try the middle height first or the highest height, but at least the middle height. And so you'll have to just reposition the hips to kind of find that spot. And you can keep the feet bent, you can straighten the legs, and we'll start to release back, taking the arms back. At some point, the head might find the block, but we're not going to be here too long. So it might be dangling, or you can bring another block under the head. While we're here, we're going to extend the arms back and have the palms flip up. And then try to take the palms out and then palms up, palms out. 3 more of these, palms up, palms out, up, out. You can feel the back muscles here on the block activating and deactivating. And then release the arms, take a deep breath in and out. Use the hands to support the head to rise. And then come up to seated, soles of the feet together, lower. Deep breath in and out. We're going to rest now. So when you're ready, rise up and come all the way down to the back and just release and completely relaxing, letting everything go. If you'd like to give yourself a little bit of a facial massage or anything like that, if you're feeling tension in the jaw or the temples, just a little bit of pressure there with the fingers, and then releasing and letting the limbs become heavier and heavier, the feet away from each other, toes pointing away from each other, arms along beside the body, the palms flipped up. Take a deep breath in and then hold the breath for 3 seconds. Holding. Exhale out through the mouth, let go. Bring your mental focus back. Be with it just for a moment. And on the next gentle exhalation, release it completely. Resting.
Slowly just begin to notice that your body is teeming with life. Notice the gentle breath that's moving in and out. See if you can notice the beating heart. See if you can sense the blood flowing through. See if you can sense the cells in your body vibrating. Come back to your mental focus today. And then start to deepen the breath. And you can release that mental focus, or you can choose to carry it with you into the rest of the day. We're going to start to move the hands and feet again. Move the fingers and the toes. Maybe stretch the arms behind and find length. Bringing those knees in to each other. Wrapping the knees with the arms. And then slowly finding your way to seated to seal our practice today. We'll come up with palms together, or maybe arms relaxed, but now we want to think about others, think about those in the world that are suffering. Seems that that number is higher and higher as we move through our lives, and we witness so many troubles that the world faces. So wishing for the proper guidance of the world, wishing for the ending of that suffering, wishing that all of us can find the truth and find our true selves, and in that knowledge that suffering ceases. Mangala mantra.
Swasti Prajavyah Paripalayanta Nyaye
Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.